Hi, I'm Eva Pohler here with an exclusive sneak peek from author Quinn Loftis. First, let me tell you a little bit about Quinn. And by the way, this is Mo. Mo, say hi. Quinn is a USA Today and award winning author of young adult fiction. She published her first book, Prince of Wolves, back in 2011, which has since been downloaded over 1 million times. Today, I want to talk to you about her upcoming release, Bound by Earth. It's already available for pre order and it releases on February 25th. Let me first tell you the blurb. Tara Thompson cannot be injured. Since the night her parents died in a tragic accident, she hasn't felt pain of any kind, not so much as a paper cut. And she has no idea why. Though her body healed quickly, her heart and soul took their time. Luckily, a loving foster mom and an unwanted best friend stepped in to speed up the process. Despite Tara's best efforts, her new BFF, Shelley Smith, just wouldn't go away. By their senior year, the girls were thick as thieves and would probably become thieves if Shelley had anything to say about their future. Thankfully, fate intervenes in the form of a high school recruiter, Elias Creed, who works for a mysterious geological testing company. Cue the dreamy music and soft lighting as he walks in slow motion toward her. Then Elias opens his mouth and Tara laments the fact that the first guy she's ever been seriously attracted to is a complete and utter butthead. Still, she can't seem to shake him, and she and Shelley are both intrigued by the company he works for. Little do they know, it's not a company at all. It's an academy for those gifted with elemental powers, and she's already been enrolled. Now for the exclusive sneak peek, which you won't get anywhere else. Look around at your fellow classmates. They are all orphans just like you. They have all been gifted with the power of earth just like you. Some of you have known about your power for a long time, but were never able to understand it. Some of you are just realizing what you might be capable of. Regardless, we at Terra Academy will help you realize your full potential. You are no longer merely students. By accepting entrance into the academy, you have set yourself on a path to become something greater. You are now nature's hunters, the Natura Ventori. You are necessary because Mother Gaia cannot hunt for herself. She sustains. She gives us life. She protects and provides for us. But who will protect and provide for her? We do. Welcome to Terra Academy. May Mother Earth always protect you. That's Zuri Petrov, and he gives his first year welcome speech. Now here is the prologue. Jack stood silently in the hospital room listening, not to the constant beeping of the machines all around him, but for any hint of the presence of a dark elemental. It was difficult to detect the low rumble of a dark spirit dweller amid the incessant hum of electricity and bothersome machines surrounding him. Jack's disliked machines, entirely unnecessary in his opinion. Give him a beautiful mountain vista any day, far from the hustle and bustle that surrounded the lives of other humans. He was like most other human elementalists in that way. When he was satisfied they were alone, Jax turned his attention to the broken girl lying beneath a scratchy white blanket. His disdain for modern technology paled in comparison to how much he hated the dark elemental that had brought him here, the one that had broken this poor girl and killed her parents. Jax hadn't read the girl's chart, but he could see at a glance she was in bad shape. She had a cast on one arm and a bandage around her head. The girl's eyes were swollen shut, set in a face that was so bruised and misshapen, it looked more like a bucket of rotten plums than a head. 13 years old. It's never a good time to lose one's parents, but 13. This girl would have to navigate the most difficult part of her childhood with no one to guide her. He clenched his fists. The spirit who did this would pay. Jax would make sure of it. They would make sure of it together. He didn't yet know where the girl would live, in an orphanage, foster care, or perhaps with a relative, but he would find out soon enough. She was his responsibility now, and when she graduated high school, he would come for her. Then she would find out what really happened to her parents. Then she could do something about it. Until then, he could only wait and observe, quietly protecting her from the unseen war raging round her. He stepped closer to the bed and glanced around to make sure they were still alone. He placed a calloused hand, hard as stone, onto the girl's shoulder. "Mother Gaia, hear my prayer. A servant of your body needs you now," he whispered. Several moments of silence passed. Then Jax began to chant. "Pebble, rock, boulder, stone, the power of the earth alone. Strength of granite, grace of jewels, minerals, crystals, and gems are your tools. Bedrock rise, work through my hands. Grant this youngling the protection of your hand." He felt a low rumble beneath his feet as the earth's power traveled from the depths of the ground and up through the building to where he stood. It entered his body through the bottom of his feet and traveled upward. Jax's heavily muscled frame became rigid, momentarily hard as granite, as the elemental power flowed through him. It moved to his arm and down it, flowing from his body into the girl's shoulder. The girl's skin, pale from loss of blood, began to change color. First, her entire body became a dull tan, the color of soft Mississippi mud. Then it became burnt sienna, the color of an Arizona mesa. Next, it mottled and speckled like a vein of marble running through the bedrock. Finally, it smoothed and became iron gray before returning to its previous ashen hue. He thought about using his power to mend some of the girl's wounds as well. He wasn't great with soft tissue, but he could mend a bone in seconds, not only healing the fracture, but making it much stronger than before, infusing the metals of earth directly into the marrow. But miraculous healings tended to invite questions, and with questions, that was the last thing this girl needed right now. He was safe, she was safe, and she would recover. That was enough. He'd simply have to let nature take its course. "That's the best I can do for now, little one. Sleep well, and may Gaia protect you," he said softly. With one last look at the girl, Jax turned and took a few steps toward the door. There he hesitated and turned back. The machine still beeped. The girl did not stir. He shook his head and released a labored sigh. He could go and find the dark elemental right now, capture it, rip it limb from limb, break it like it had broken the human in that hospital bed. He wanted nothing more in that moment. It would feel so good. Most of his brothers and sisters would do just that. It was the wise thing to do. After all, killing the nasty little spirit would ensure he couldn't cause any more harm. But Jax knew something most of the other elementals didn't. If the light elementals were ever going to have any chance against the dark, they couldn't be content to take the high road. They'd have to stoop to the dark one's level. They'd have to fight dirty. The forces of light would have to be motivated to do what it takes to win, and nothing was more motivating than the desire for revenge. He knew this better than anyone. So that's our exclusive sneak peek from Quinn Loftis. Thank you, Quinn, for sharing this with us today. We're so excited about Bound by Earth. Please visit her website. I'll have it linked in the bottoms if you want to go and pre-order your copy. And thank you again for joining me on Book Tea with Eva Pohler. Ooh, I almost forgot to drink my tea. Next time I will show you footage from my night at the haunted hotel, the Minger Hotel here in San Antonio, which sits on top of one of the Battle of the Alamos, where a lot of ghosts are purportedly to be. And I will report back with my footage of my attempt to communicate with ghosts. I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.